A very pleasant good day, my beloved brothers and sisters. Well, once again, this is your Christian brother Eric Braxton speaking to you all from his beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago, the land of my nativity, the land of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, this wonderful island country that is in the blue Caribbean Sea, in this part 54 video, where I am speaking about outer body experiences false. And look, outer body experiences false and looking at the deception. Brothers and sisters, man is flesh and blood, man is the body. The spirit that dwells in man, that's the life force, which is the air, the breath of life. And that force, which is the breath of life that dwells in each human being, is not a spirit entity, it's not an immortal spirit entity. That life force that dwells in you does not possess consciousness. That life force that dwells in you is as the air, the wind. It is not a personality, it's not a person having hands and foot and ears like the physical body. Because when you give up the breath of air, which is the wind, the air that you breathe, that is called ghost and spirit, it go back in the atmosphere. And when it go back in the atmosphere, it does not possess consciousness. But you, the person who is flesh and blood, go to the grave, because thus we enter, thus we return, so God make us. And we lose consciousness and we remain in that unawareness, on that unconscious state till resurrection. So there is life after death, but in a future resurrection. This is how God creates us, brothers and sisters. You become a dead soul. But why is it? The breath of life is in you, along with the blood, working along with the blood. You, the person, is a living soul, having consciousness. Why is you alive? You have consciousness. And plus a person might faint away for a little while and lose consciousness, but the person is still alive. His heart is beating, his mind is working, but he's just unconscious. Plus, when they put you on an anesthetic to operate on you in the hospital, you're in an unconscious state, unaware state. It doesn't know anything, brothers and sisters. So consciousness means awareness, seeing, hearing, being aware of the things around you and above you and under you. That's consciousness, awareness. Unawareness, being not conscious, being not aware, simply means you do not know anything, brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters, that's the difference. So brothers and sisters, those people who believe in the near-death experience and claiming they have outer body experience, and those in the International Research Organization for Near-Death Studies, like Jeffrey Long, who pioneered the research of near-death experience, and he's in the forefront perpetuating the doctrine and philosophy and ideology of near-death experience. Jeffrey Long do not understand. He's a sincere man, because he himself personally say he never have no death experience, because in the first place, and even he claimed that he did have a death experience. He will be lying. That's as all the millions of people who claim they have near-death experience and they never have no near-death experience. That's a false, because outer body experience is false. You see, man himself is the body. So how you could come out the body when you yourself is a body? Because the spirit that is in you is not you. But these people and them who believe in near-death experience and claim they have outer body experience, they are saying they are not the body. They are not this fleshy physical body. They are saying that they are a spirit being, a spirit entity that dwell in the body, and they could come out of that spirit entity, which they claim is the true self, could come out the body and travel and then come back in the body. Because they say when the doctor is operating on them, they float out of the body and was in the ceiling in the hospital room witnessing the doctors operating on them. And then they flew through the building and they went on top of the hospital roof and saw a knife. Yes, they saw a knife on top of the room, on the hospital building on top. But the person didn't physically went up there to see the knife. He didn't use the elevator to went up there to see the knife. And when he came out of the anesthetic way out of him, and he regained consciousness, and he sat up in his bed, his room, he called the doctors and tell them, you know, when Allah was operating on me, my spirit came out of my body, I had an out of body experience, and I went on top of the building and I saw a knife. the doctors will say, let us see what you're saying is true. So they send someone on top of the building and actually get a knife. And when the doctors come with the knife and confront the person, this is the knife that you saw when you went on top of the building in a spirit form, the person will say yes. But the doctors and them will say, that can't happen because we was operating on you and you was under anesthetic, you was unconscious, you did not know anything. What the doctors are saying, telling the man or the woman is true. They was under anesthetic and they know nothing. But they are telling the doctors they came out of the body and they was in a spirit entity form, and they was just looking at the physical body that the doctor was operating on. And they float back down in that spirit entity, which is the true self according to them, float back down in the physical body. Brothers and sisters, but that is not true, brothers and sisters. The deception is that that man or that woman, they have an invisible entity, invisible spirits for them who are carrying out that deception. The invisible spirit, which is the fallen angels, evil spirit, they know that the knife was on top of the building. Before that man come to the hospital or that woman come to the hospital, the invisible spirits know that the knife was on top of the building. And since the spirit now is using that man or woman, the spirit now simply tell the man or the woman to tell the doctor there's a knife on top there. So when the doctor sends someone and actually collect the knife and bring down the knife, by the doctors seeing what the person told them, there was really a knife on top there, and the information is true because the now doctor or the surgeon have the knife on the hand, confronting the person, is this the knife that is on top of the building? And they said yes. So they know the person wasn't lying concerning the knife, which is true. But did any spirit come out of the person to went up there to know there was a knife? No. Did the person went up there physically to know there was a knife on top of the building? No. It's the invisible spirit that the person have with them revealed to the person to tell the doctor there was a knife. And they went and checked the information, it was true. But naturally, normally, the doctors and surgeons in the room, are they seeing the invisible spirit being with the person in the room? The answer is no. They are seeing the physical man and the physical woman. That's deception, brothers and sisters. Jeffrey Long don't understand that, brothers and sisters. So by the doctors and them confirming that the information that the man give them concerning the knife, and they will went and check it out and they have the knife literally in their hand showing the person, they will say, now this is evidence. The doctors and people now will say that is the proof and this is the evidence now that these people is really coming out of the body in a spirit form and could travel through the atmosphere and through the buildings, through solid concrete, and go on top of the hospital, and whatever, whether there be a cup or a knife or a block, or whether there be a dead bird on top there, they will be able to see what on top there and then come back down in the body and tell reveal the information to the doctors and nurses that the item is on top of the building, so they could send someone to collect the items to come and verify it. But it's not the person, it's the invisible entity, spirit beings that these people have, using them to do that. And the doctors and them are being fooled and tricked in that process. You see, brother? So you see who is revealing the information to these people? The spirit entities, the fallen angels that they have with them, using them to perpetuate that lie, brothers and sisters. You see, brothers and sisters, that the deception. So you see, out-of-body experience is false. But why the fallen angels are doing that? The fallen angels are working through these people for them to tell these lies that these people, a spirit being in a body, and they could come out and be conscious out of the physical body and could travel and then come back in the body. The reason why the fallen angels are doing that, they are perpetuating the lie that man is not the body, and that man is a spirit entity inside the body, and that man is immortal, and man could come out the body and travel and still possess consciousness in a spirit form and then come back in the body. The fallen angels are going against what God say. You see, they are fighting against God. They are fighting against the Creator. God said we are flesh and blood. And these fallen angels, invisible spirit beings, are using these people to say that we are not flesh and blood, that we are a spirit being inside a body. That's the core of the matter. There are many aspects to it, but I'm dealing with the core of the matter. The fallen angels are opposing. They are going against the program of God. They're going against the truth of God. God say you are flesh and blood, and they are using these people to say that we are not the body, we are not flesh and blood, that the true we is spirit beings in our body, and when the physical body is dead and cannot move again, the true person who is a spirit being in the body will now exit the body and be in an invisible form, possessing consciousness and conscious in the spirit world in an invisible dimension, which is a total lie, brothers and sisters. This is the false teaching that the fallen angels are working through these people to perpetuate that man possesses a spirit, immortal soul, which is a total lie. You all see the deception? That is deception, my brothers and sisters. So may God help us all to recognize that deception and do not accept that deception at all, because man is flesh and blood, and man is not a spirit entity, immortal spirit being in a body. And when a man die, he lose consciousness and he doesn't know nothing till in a future resurrection when God will give him back his consciousness. Because yes, there's life after death, but in a future resurrection. So let us accept God's way and the truth of God, brothers and sisters. So out of body experience is total false, my dear friends. And I show you the deception that is taking place, brothers and sisters, with a knife. Brothers and sisters, may God help us all. May God help us all. In no other name, but the name of our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ, the God of truth. Amen. See you all in the next video soon. Bye bye, my friends.